kickoff to the weekend, football weekend. I've got two guests. One of them is a returning guest, Nestor Martinez, and then another one is a good friend of ours, Saleem Fernandez. And I'm excited because we get to learn more about Saleem, but also talk about football, college,
It's
and
back.
NFL.
Welcome back.
Come on.
So, guys, thank you for coming on. Saleem, I've known you now for, I guess, 4 or 5 years. I know Nestor and you have known each other for a while, right?
Shit, long time.
Fortunately.
So how did you two meet?
I met Nestor. So I used to own a bunch of bars, nightclubs in Houston.
Give us the PG version.
Well, we said we could edit a lot of this stuff. So I used to own a bunch of bars and restaurants, and so the Red Door was one of the first ones that I got into, and this is 2003. But around 2005 and 6 is when I started meeting kind of the circle of friends that I have now. They were all just kind of getting out of law school, or they were all just kind of getting out of their young professional careers, and they were going out. Guess they had a little money to spend. And I just had the place where people went. And so I got to meet people through that industry and ultimately met a few of my closest friends, Nestor being one of them. Around 2007-ish, yeah, around 2007.
That's correct.
So almost 20 years, him and I have been friends. And
I didn't know that.
I could say the same for probably about 5 or 6 other guys that I've known that long. I would say him and one other gentleman are definitely my closest friends in Houston, brothers, someone who I feel like I can confide in, people who we can, not be judged and brainstorm ideas and know where the limits are at. Families get along, wives know each other, kids know each other, travel with each other. I mean, those are things where I feel like once you've crossed that line with me, you're in.
Yeah.
Now, of course, eventually people do cross lines and those relationships end, but ours has withstood a lot.
Yes, sir.
Ours has withstood a lot, and we've always come back to center, and we've always made sure that we're right hands for each other. I've always told him, and I've told him that I'll tell him again. He's one of the few people ever in my life that I will literally fight somebody for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally.
It's awesome. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
It really, you don't find that often.
Hard
It's
to find
really
him.
hard.
Yep. Hard to find him.
It's weird as you get older, your friend group gets smaller.
Correct.
And you get more
Very
loyal to those people.
Correct.
And I get
Very
it.
true.
That's very, very cool. The name of the podcast is called The Money Line, and the reason why is because we talk about sports, but also the other reason is because we like to learn how other people make money. You had said that you had started a bunch of clubs. Can you kind of tell us what you do?
Yeah. So, should I go in timeline or should I say what I do now?
Whatever you want to talk to us about.
Well, so earlier in my career, I played football at the University of Houston. I left.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
What position?
Running back.
Wow. You know what? I can see that.
Yeah.
There's no
Tailback or fullback?
Running back.
Oh, okay. In between.
Okay.
there's no record of him anywhere. Anywhere.
I get into that. I'll get into that one too.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll get into that one too.
Wiped it.
Don't get me started on Cornell X yet. All right. Yeah. But I get you into that one.
All right.
So
It was the other U of H, huh?
no, it was this U of H.
I love when he talks about his college football career, which is true, by the way. He played at U of H, and everybody has.
Well, I either did or I didn't.
Everybody.
Which one?
Oh, you did.
Did you say we played it?
Yeah. Everybody has the same reaction that you have. What? It's like I said, bro. It's like me going and telling people, yeah, I ran the Boston Marathon in 1995. People are gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? Exactly.
I did a lot of sports as a kid. I stuck with football. It happened to do well for me in high school, and so naturally, I wanted to play college. But it got to a point where I realized I wasn't going to go to the NFL. This is cool while I'm doing it. I transferred to the University of Houston from the University of Hawaii, and back then you had to sit out a year. And so when you sit out, you have a lot of like soul searching, and you're in the gym all the time. You can't play. You practice, and you get your head smashed in. You do the training, all that. You just can't play. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even suit out for home games. Like it was just like
Oh, wow.
it was like you just left on Thursday. Team would travel and.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what the hell am I going to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? So I got into the bar business with my cousins who were opening up the Red Door at the time. And long story short, yeah, I wanted to learn the business. At first I took it as just a side job because I wanted a little bit of extra cash.
Mm-hmm.
because that was the one semester where I wasn't on scholarship, and so I had to really finance my way through apartment and food and gas, and my parents never really. I mean, they didn't not like they didn't want to, but they never could help me out with that. So it was one of those things where I just wanted to collect some money, and I was 20 years old. Long story short, I learned the business from front to back. I started as a bar back, became a bartender, became a door guy, learned how to work cocktail service, literally like with a tray. Then became general manager, and then I said, "Fuck it! Like, I think it's time for me to branch out." I had met a buddy of ours that we know well. He had financed my first bar, which was Pandora on Washington Avenue, and so 2008 was that time, and sky was the limit. We did Zeppelin, we did Open City, we did Roosevelt. I mean, it was just we did a bunch, and I got to learn a lot. And paid a lot of rent, paid a lot of premiums for insurance, hired and fired a ton of people, made a bunch of mistakes, both personally and professionally. And through that process, I learned a lot about business. It was almost like a throwing you to the wolves and
trial by fire.
Yeah, it really was like that. And over the years, I got to meet a lot of people, like some nesters out there that taught me a few things and taught me some things that I don't want to do, taught me some things that I do want to do, either through their actions or or by their stories.
As long as you know the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I took that business acumen and I turned it into a construction company that was geared more towards building out bars, restaurants, and designing them, and nightclubs, designing them for customers. Because a lot of people wanted to open up bars. Any lawyer or doctor who had $500,000 in their bank thought they could just open up a bar, but they didn't know how. And I kind of sold myself on, I can help you do that. Mm-hmm. And so I would design these places and I would make them to where it would come to fruition. The place would open and it would crush it, right? Ultimately, they ran the places like shit and they ended up selling or they ended up just completely closing. But that was my initial expertise was understanding the bar business and then understanding the flow of the bars. And a lot of people don't understand this. They probably just take it for granted, but where the bar is at, how long it is, where the VIP booths are at, what's the flow of the bar.
And it helps having that experience from developing from the bottom up, pretty much, knowing the.
So I always made them efficient for the operators, and I made it efficient for the customer because I was on both sides. And so something as stupid as the front entry, which way the door swings. Which direction does the line need to form at the front? Yeah, because you have to have an entrance and an exit out the same door. Things. And so those are all things. I mean, even the ice wells behind the bar and the bottle display and where's the go-go booths and it was I would design everything to the T. And so that turned into actual establishing all my crews, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, concrete, framing, upholstery, sound system, all AV. Sheetrock, ground up building. Mm-hmm. It turned into that, and then once I realized I had a niche in the bar restaurant world, I said, let me just try this commercial thing. And so I had a few customers, Newquest and Huntington Properties, who are pretty big now, but back 20 years ago they were kind of just getting going. They had a bunch of shopping centers around town, and they needed a general contractor who can go tenant improvement build-outs, TI build-outs. So you had a Supercuts or you had a T-Mobile cell phone store, and they just needed to build out, and hey, you got 30 days to do it. And I would just go in there, put paper on the windows, and we'd knock it out 20 days, no permits, boom, apply for a certificate of occupancy, and then the business was open. Wow. And so I'd got my foot in the door with those bigger companies that way. And then I got my really biggest break, which was being the general contractor for a company called Urban Air. And
it's funny how you remember that, your biggest break. That's what sticks out.
That was my biggest break. And it feels like it was yesterday. It was 2016. But it feels like it was yesterday. They asked me to build a store for them in Humble. It was their first store. There were only 3 of them prior to that up in the Dallas area. And they said, hey, we want to come to the Houston market. And we're looking for a general contractor who can build a couple of stores in Houston. I said, well, listen, I do a lot of commercial stuff already. Like, I already got my hands full. But I'll build your first one, and let's give it a shot, And so I put the budget together and a timeline and all that stuff, the way you're supposed to do it. Have to deal with the banks because they're all SBA funded. And the CEO of the company was like, dude, if you can build it for this price and this timeline, he's like, I'm going to give you way more than Texas. He's like, but let's just see how this goes. Long story short, made it, built it on budget, on time. And it went gangbusters, right? CEO came down. The build out was great. He's like, brother, I got another one for you. And so I went and looked at it with him. It was up in Hempstead area, like 290 and Huffmeister.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So he went, let me go take a look at this. We went literally from that grand opening, and we drove down the Beltway and all that fun stuff. And I looked at it, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. I can do it. It was a brand new constructed building, so it wasn't like a shithole remodel.
Yeah.
The one in Humble was an old 24-hour fitness, and it was a pain in the ass. It was like ripping out racquetball courts and pulling up the rubber mats from the weight centers and the spa and the restrooms and the lockers. It was an absolute nightmare. But this one was a complete shell, and I said, you know what, let's do it. I'll do it. And same scenario, I built it. It went phenomenal. And then he goes, I'm making you my national GC. And I said, no, bro. I said, listen, I love Houston. I'm going to stay in Houston. I ain't traveling nowhere. Like, I'm not doing it. And he threw a number out there that I couldn't resist. And I said,
I'm your man.
where are we going? So he told me how many stores he wanted to do. And I said, because I thought he was going to just waste my time with 4 or 5 different stores. Because I'm thinking to myself, man, I built your 4th store, and I'm about to go build your 5th store. Like, where's your funding coming from? How are you going to build 40, 50, 60 stores? Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, this guy's going to waste my time. I'm going to go to Baltimore for fucking 3 stores or some shit. And he came at me with some really cool stuff, and I was like, dude, I don't have to go that far. I could kind of stay in the SEC states. I call them the SEC states because Southeast
Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but he got me into the SEC states, which is where they were going to focus on before they started going up north and out west. And I said, I'll do 50 for you. We can build 50.
Damn.
So 2016 and 17 and 18, and right before 18, I said, man, I really like this concept. I'm in the bar business. It's not healthy. I've cheated on my wife at least 5 times by this point. She amazing.
Delete.
Edit.
No, keep that. My wife knows it all, right? My wife knows it all. And so it wasn't a healthy business for me. It wasn't conducive to family life.
Mine doesn't.
Delete that.
It was not a secret. I wasn't a saint. But regardless, it was like, I want to get out of the bar business. I was always looking for an out. And this franchising thing, which is not necessarily my cup of tea, and if any of us have ever been in business, you know that it's hard to be told what to do. Yeah. You want to have your own marketing plan. You want to be able to hire your own people. You want to be able to do your own shit. And I said, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this franchising stuff, but I hear all my clients I was building Urban Airs for. I hear them talk about this and the money that they're making. I said, I want in. And he was like, anything you want, pick the locations. He's like, anything you want. And back then, the franchise fees were like $15,000.
Wow.
Now they're like $200,000.
Yeah.
But he was like, pick anything you want. And I said, well, I'm from San Antonio. I said, I'd like to do one in San Antonio. Find your location. I'll make sure it happens. All right, cool. What else you want? And it kind of just, I'll take Florida. I want South Florida. All right, well, do you have the money to back this up? I said, I'll find it. Like, I'll get partners. I know a lot of people. We'll make it happen. And so another guy opened up a store in Spring. He wanted a partner. So I was able to be his partner. So I immediately became a franchisee. I opened up my one in San Antonio, opened up the 2 in Florida, West Palm Beach, and Plantation in Wellington. And then I got into another store in Little Rock, Arkansas, really Conway, Arkansas. But I got into another one there because my client ran out of money. I was building it for him, and my client ran out of money. And the CEO called me up and he said, "Hey, listen, I know you're wanting to get into more stores. You're the contractor for this location, but if you don't partner up with him, he may never be able to pay you what you owe. So take it off your GC fee, find a way to invest with him, and you can be a part owner in that store." In Conway, Arkansas, which is like 40 minutes north of Little Rock. So overnight, it felt like I had 5 stores. And I was at a point where I said, damn, I can't do both now. I can't build. I'm like at park 35, 36 at this point. And then I have 5 stores that I'm actually operating. And in my previous life, I was an operator. In the bar business, I loved operating the bars. And it was from start to finish, soup to nuts, all the way from opening the door to tipping out my bartenders. And so in this world, it was almost the same thing. My customers were just 10. They weren't drunk and 30. So I was still entertaining people. We still had birthday parties. We still had party rooms. We were still taking a cover in a form of their entry fee. Sure. Except in this case, we had waivers to sign. So I'm like, it's fucking awesome. I have no liability. I have no alcohol. This is great. And so we got to a point where I realized I had totally outkicked my coverage. I couldn't continue to build stores. I was never home. I was sleeping in a Holiday Inn. I was eating every fast food joint you could possibly eat at. I wasn't,
Still doing that.
Do you have a button that could just mute him through this process?
Thanks.
So I was just living the most unhealthy lifestyle, and I realized I got to stop one of these two, and it's not stopping the owning of the businesses; it's stopping all this construction that's going on. And fuck, man, by the grace of God, and it sounds crazy, COVID happened. COVID happened, and nobody was building any more stores, and nobody was sending their kids to these parks. And so I had the opportunity to really reflect and sit back and say, like, what am I doing? Now I'm at home. I was 6 days a week away from my house and my kids. Now I'm home. Can't travel, can't go nowhere. So I'm having to get to know my wife all over again. There was 3 years where I just was on the road all the time. And it was really tough. I mean, it sucked. It sucked. But it was good money, so it was hard to pass up. Well, it was good money at the time. Eventually got into a situation where I didn't know this because I just wasn't polished in this world, but as the GC of all these urban air trampoline parks, and you could appreciate this as a personal injury lawyer.
I already know where you're coming. Yeah, where you're going with this.
As the general contractor, I got sued a ton of times. Yeah, I was the GC of record. And because I was the GC of record, I would just get put into lawsuits.
Casting wide nets.
I'd be one
attorneys.
Of fuckers. my buddy Miguel says doing God's work. I was like, I don't know who are you praying to.
Well, those people got to go get treated somewhere.
Y'all motherfuckers.
Somebody's gonna take this case.
So they would cast these wide nets, and before you knew it, I had a deductible of $2,500. Yeah. And so I'd be in 3 this month, 4 this month. So and so broke his leg. So and so, broke his neck. So and so rolled his ankle. So and so tore his ACL, and stitches across the eye from the smallest thing, like a $20,000 lawsuit to like $1 million lawsuit, right? And although I never built any of the attractions, I was the GC of record. So the people who built all the attractions were truly the ones that were responsible for this. I mean, I built the restrooms and the ACs and the lights and the floors. I did that.
Oh, you didn't build the construction?
I didn't construct any of the actual attractions.
Okay.
Subbed it out. I didn't even have a PO on that.
You didn't do any of the trampolines.
All these
and
people
stuff
came
like
in
that?
from other countries, and these handbooks were in Russian and Chinese. I mean, they would send all their people, and so I just was responsible for providing them an envelope, and they go and it was all modular, so they just go and place it in. Yeah. And so, but it got to a point where it was super stressful and it was overwhelming for me, and COVID really helped me reflect on a lot of that. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna pivot here. I'm gonna go into home building, but the only way I can do that is I need to get the capital to do that.
Out of the business.
And I have assets here that are gonna open up soon. But this is the perfect time for me to get out because I have now an out. Now I can say, I just want to get out. It's not like I'm trying to get out of a failing business. I'm trying to sell a business that does very well, and when it opens back up, you're going to crush it. Versus owning a business that's struggling, and you're like, fuck, how do I get out of this?
You gotta take a loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're on the upscale, yeah.
So
And that urban area in San Antonio is nice. I go to San Antonio all the time.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
taking my kids there. So I work off right past the 410 exit on 35.
Like, actually, I sued you one
Basically, what he's
time.
asking for is free passes. So
You got those free passes?
They are expensive to get into.
And that's one of the reasons why I did my next move, which is really where the end of this story goes, is private equity. I said, I need to sell. I need to sell what I can sell while I can. I had just opened up Plantation, which is Fort Lauderdale. I had been open for about a year in Wellington, which is West Palm Beach. My Little Rock store had been open about a year and a half. My San Antonio store had been open for about 2 years. My Houston store had been open for about 3 years. And I had phenomenal numbers. EBITDA was off the charts. The industry hadn't really set a standard yet, so we didn't know if we were going to get like 3X, 5X, 4X. We didn't know what the industry was going to bring. So I was the largest franchisee for this business, Urban Air, at the time. I saw the direction in which the home office was going. It wasn't what I wanted and what I thought I was signing up for originally. And it was an opportunity. So private equity came in, and I got 4 of my stores off the books. They paid me a bunch of money. I paid a bunch of taxes, and I finally had the opportunity to have some seed money to go and start building homes. And so that was my pivot. And so that's what I do now is I'm a home builder. It's been successful. I love designing homes. I travel a lot, so I get to see a lot of the, obviously different parts of the
international
country.
homes.
Yeah, you get to see
processes.
all the architecture that exists. There's stuff in Scottsdale that is just absolutely amazing. There's stuff in Miami that is sick, right? And so you get into all these. There's lake houses that I've seen that are just all worldly, but would never put their house in a magazine because they're private owners and they don't. Yeah. But I'm over here thinking, man, I helped you with that house. Yeah. That's awesome, So it's part of the portfolio, and I felt really prideful about it. And so I enjoyed construction. I really did. I still do. I still enjoy it. I enjoy designing it. I enjoy the flow of a home. I enjoy entertaining houses. Not these traditional, closed in. I like tall ceilings. I like large spans. I like big windows. I like palm trees. I like high elevations. When you pull up to this house, I want it to be like, holy shit.
You should see his house. It's
Open spaces.
House is really nice.
I heard about it.
Thank you. And so that house actually was, I was building it as a spec house. It was my first house that I said, you know what, I'm going to build a house that can just market my product. So I'm going to build the baddest fucking house, and I want to be able to put it on social media. I have no social media presence even till this day. I don't have social media of any level. But I'm going to have my daughter or somebody, I'm going to blast the shit out of this and say, Saleem Fernandez can build
This
any house you
house.
want,
Yeah.
right? And man, I think about halfway through it, 2/3 of the way through it, I said, I'm fucking buying this house. Like, this is the baddest house I've ever been in.
Yeah. Nobody's going to have this house but me.
And so I said, kids, what do y'all think? They're like, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I just like it too much. I designed it so well, and I really fell in love with it. It was a unique design. It has a lot of cantilevered sections. It's got really wide spacing, a ton of glass. And I was just ecstatic the way it came out. And unfortunately, I was my first customer.
Yeah.
So
You broke the rule of the dope man rule. Don't get higher than your supply. You got higher than your supply.
Nestor, I don't think I ever asked you this question last time, and I'm glad that we brought it up now with you, Saleem. But what was your first? What would you consider was your first big break? You're very successful,
thank you.
I look up to you in a lot of ways. I look up to both of you guys because I think when I try to emulate successful people, I try to think of what people like you would do. So, in saying that, what do you think was your first big break?
I think that back in 1997, my wife, girlfriend at the time, worked for a chiropractor, and he had a empty rehab facility that was completely empty. He was next door doing what most chiropractors do.
how old are you at this time?
I am 23, 24.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, 1970. Yeah, exactly. 24 years old. It's 1997, and I'm picking her up for lunch. Taking her to lunch because I was working at a clinic not down the street, but about 10 minutes away. And I said, hey, in the clinic that I worked at was a primarily injury clinic, auto accidents and workers' comp, a lot of workers' comp.
Were you a chiro at this time?
You were practicing chiro,
I was a
Okay, so you were
chiropractor.
okay,
I was a
got it.
chiropractor, yes. And I I was 8 months out of school. I graduated in December '96, so 1997, and it's interesting. The clinic that I was working at closed. The guy closed. He had 3 clinics, very successful. He had a lot of bad vices and had a terrible marriage. I ended up, losing everything. Just so, I learned a lot and what not to do. He taught me very early. I learned a very, very good lesson. So it's interesting because when he closed the clinic, I was like, what am I going to do now? And I remember having, when it comes to workers' compensation patients, that you have a particular, it's called a treating doctor. And that treating doctor is your doctor. He's a primary. He's a quarterback to your case. And I had several patients that I was a workers' comp treating doctor for. So I asked the owner of the clinic if I could keep those patients. I knew what I could do with these patients and treat them. And believe it or not, and when the clinic closed, in the back of my BMW, I had a portable table. Yes, I had a portable EMS unit, electrical stimulation unit, ultrasound. I would go to people's houses and treat them at their house, and I made more money, 3 times what I made at the clinic, working a third of the time. Yeah. I would literally, yes, and
you show up my house, I'll be like, I need the front yard cut, I need the backyard head.
It was really interesting because I had a couple of female patients that were older. Listen, I'm 24 at the time, and and they were like, sorry, you can't come to my house. My husband would have a hard time. I said, I understood. So I was doing that, had a lot of time off, so I pick up my girlfriend at the time, wife now, Valerie, at this doctor's office. I said, why is that open? Why is that closed? The rehab equipment is nobody's using it. Every time it's empty in there. She goes, well, they closed it. They couldn't make. I said, does he have a lot of workers' compensation patients? And he goes, yes, he does. I said, I want to talk to him. So talked to him. I said, let me ask you a question. If I lease this next door from you, and would you send me your workers' comp patients to rehab, to do a program, things that he didn't do? It didn't compete with what he did because he didn't do any rehab. He didn't do any active care. All he did was massage, electrical stimulation, ultrasound adjusting. We call that passive modalities, right? So there was no active care, and I had to train in doing active rehabilitation, which is, essentially doing exercises and that kind of thing. And he said, yeah, so he charged me $2,500 a month for a space that was worth back then probably $1,200. He charged me $100,000 for an equipment that was worth $20,000, but owner financed it. And I signed the dotted line on August 5th of 1997 on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yes. He wanted listen to this. He wanted $10,000 down. I had a jet ski that I had in college that I loved to ride, and we rode all the lakes. So I sold the jet ski. I got $5,400. I was short. My credit cards maxed out, right out of college, right? And didn't have anybody. My father-in-law, my wife's, father, which is weird because at the time I was just a boyfriend, right? He let me borrow $5,000. I'll never forget.
Wow. Really?
Yes. I get $10,000 on my birthday. I close. The guy charged me $2,500 a month, owner finance for the equipment, overpaid for the equipment, overpaid for the rent. But, at that time, I knew the potential. The potential.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'll never forget my first check was, my first big batch of check was October 13th of 1997 or something like that.
So 2 months
and
later.
It was 2 months later, I get $8,000 in the bank. First thing I did was write a check, $5,000 to my father-in-law, which is my girlfriand's dad at the time, right?
Yeah.
But that's a great, you know what?
Yes,
months
right
later,
away. Right away. I didn't go buy a new, I didn't do anything, go take a trip or anything like that. I just knew to take care of business. And I was very appreciative, so, and that was my break. Because I took that and I made 7 figures by the age of 28.
Yeah. So that you were telling me workers' comp then was huge.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and it's I still have a clinic that does a lot of workers' comp. It's just that workers' comp is a very niche because it's a lot of doctors don't like don't like doing it because it's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
So once you learn how to do it, it's all the same thing. And so I learned that very early. So that was my break. And then I had a 5-year lease. The doctor that was next door turned to me and said, you know what, you're making more money than I am. I said, I can't renew your lease. And so that was
Really?
in April. Yes, that was in April of 2002. And I thought, oh my goodness,
he was just gonna ask
the
you to
world
buy it.
just ended, right?
Yeah.
Never forget, it was April 15th, Saturday of 2002, I believe.
Tax
And he said, I'm not renewing your lease because you're making more money. I'm an idiot. Now you're making more money than me.
hater,
I'm like,
man.
and I'm like, oh, okay. Where am I going now? So
Did you own the equipment yet at this point? You had
yes,
to pay it off?
it's paid off. The equipment is paid off, and so I went where I am, where my clinic is now, on Airline and Parker.
Airline.
I ended up leasing the building and buying the building in 2003, in July 2003, a year later, and it was the best decision.
So I've always said in college, you go as the quarterback goes. And so it's hard for me to deny that the better of the two quarterbacks is the one over at Michigan. And I don't know shit about either one of these teams. I just know that OU's still in that transition of turning the ship around. Better this year than they were last year and the year before. So I feel like they're in the right direction. But
Do they still have the same coach? That's a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
oh, they let go.
the old
Yeah.
DC from Clemson when
Oh, okay, okay.
Dabo and all them were winning.
So
So who are you picking?
Michigan.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Michigan.
And the reason I'm picking Oklahoma is because I feel when they make lines for people to take the wrong side.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a line that's 4.5, they're begging you to take the plus 4.5, right?
So,
So, I like Oklahoma
You wouldn't
for-
do the money line?
I like Oklahoma for that reason. They're home.
I like Oklahoma with on the line.
Yeah.
I agree.
See, and you can debate that theory sometimes, but naturally you would also think the average Joe is going to take the home team just in general. So it's like well then maybe the bookies are on the other side, or maybe Vegas is on the other side.
I don't know what a bookie
I'd
is.
rather
Oklahoma covering.
I'd rather be on Vegas' side.
I don't know what a bookie is. I go
Vinny?
to Lake Charles to
I'll
make my
probably
bets.
take Oklahoma also.
5.5.
Straight up.
So
It's 4.5 on here.
5.5. Okay.
Ray, what do you got?
Well, either way, I think
I just
Michigan,
say-
I think Michigan wins, and I think Michigan.
I actually,
All right,
wins.
everybody.
Michigan?
Sleep.
I actually agree with Salim.
Okay,
I'm
so
a-
we
all right.
pick
I'm a go-
Michigan.
this is-
Everybody,
this is all on the
load
record,
up on
so
Oklahoma.
I'm gonna take. Only reason I'm
Load up
taking
with Oklahoma.
Michigan is because if you run the ball and play good defense, you can win football games. And the running back for Michigan ran for 3 touchdowns last week.
Okay.
Against?
against Detroit Community College.
Yeah,
No, well, I mean, there's theory to that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you either have chemistry going into your second game, or you got ass kicked in the first game, and so you're splitting hairs here. I think it's way too early in the season to even debate on who's
sure.
gonna, but I do think Michigan quarterback is the better of the two, and I'm just going with that. Period.
Nice. All right. Well, let's move on to the NFL slate.
Yes.
I want to talk about yesterday and the Cowboys.
Oh my!
of course you do. That is not a womp. I don't even understand why that's a womp.
Spit on your jersey, bro.
Wait a minute. I'm going to say we had to play the Super Bowl champion to open the season for this year.
Wow.
Okay.
In the very first game.
Okay.
Somebody
And
bring
that
a
gets a
violin.
1-1. You know what? If it had been the Texans, you think you would have beat them at home? At home. You think the Texans would have beat them?
I think you guys.
Are you
I
putting
think
the
you
Texans and
showed
the Cowboys on the
Yeah,
same?
exactly.
Where are you at
Exactly.
with this?
That's what I'm saying.
Are you putting them on the same Texans
No,
and
because
Cowboys?
Cowboys are way better.
I believe we won the last two meetings. By the way,
Really? Y'all got titles?
we won the last
got
two
titles?
meetings. We beat you guys last year.
Titles.
got-
Not from 40
When was
years
the
ago.
last time you had a title?
When was the last time y'all had one?
Hey, we're a new franchise, but we're a new franchise. You know? Hey, you heard this?
Half the Cowboys are dead or have CTE. Bart Starr days don't count.
Warren Moon still exists, and he
he's-
ain't winning shit.
and he
I'm
looks
a
good at
Warren Moon
least.
fan. I don't even understand why people from Houston even open your mouths. Have y'all had one? If you got one victory, then I would suggest you could talk to us.
They weren't
but
that-
until you get at least one.
You
leave it alone.
know
Leave it
what the
alone.
Cowboys fans do when they win the Super Bowl?
What's that?
They turn off the Xbox.
Okay. Okay. Shit, you know.
That fucker stole my line.
Y'all can't even say that.
Yes.
I don't
That's
understand.
a great one.
Is it? Y'all can't even say that. That's the saddest part. So no matter how terrible you
Not
think the
since we've been a
Cowboys are,
franchise.
We're
no matter how
we're
bad,
established in
no
2002.
matter how bad you think the Cowboys are, how sorry you think they are, y'all are worse.
I don't-
So just recognize that.
I don't think they're bad.
We
I
beat
think-
y'all.
recognize
We
that.
beat y'all the last 2 meetings.
Yeah.
So
Did
I mean,
you?
I don't
What did
understand.
that win you? What did that win you?
Well, you're never gonna really define
Pride.
your.
What did that win you?
Right.
One of my greatest stories that I tell.
What
is-
did they bring
one of the
bragging
greatest-
rights against you?
One
That's
of
it.
one of the greatest stories I love to tell is I went to see the Texans play the Cowboys here in Houston. We were down there back when they let us stand in the parking lot and we played.
And you didn't die in the parking lot.
No, but
Wow.
they tried to kill
You're
me.
one of the few that
They
survived.
tried. They tried. I
Yeah.
survived.
Yes.
Barely. I barely got out.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
So we were in the parking lot. The Texans were ahead by like 8 points at the half, and I'm going to the restroom, I'm going to a little party, and everybody's talking shit as I'm standing in line. I got a big star on my chest, and everybody's talking shit, and I'm like, okay, hey, y'all better win. Y'all suck. Okay, y'all better win. Sure enough, Cowboys come back and win in the second half, and I talk shit to the whole parking lot as I'm walking out.
This
of
was
there.
when?
What year was that, Ben?
Back when it
20
was
years
still
ago?
allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, back when it was allowed.
20 years ago?
No.
So
No, it was,
God.
I don't know,
2010,
2010,
2010. So they were like 8 years old at that time.
Yeah,
Well, that's like picking on UT Grand Valley down in South Texas.
Look,
They just started the program.
Unlike
Thank
you
you.
guys,
I mean-
unlike you guys, I don't have hate for the Texans. I would love nothing would make me happy as I tell everybody.
I don't have
Nothing-
hate for the, I don't have hate for the
nothing would
Cowboys.
make
He's indifferent. Yeah.
I don't have any hate for the Cowboys.
I would love-
I just know football, and I've seen how bad they are year over year. There's no way I could convince anybody to be a fan of that. There's just no way.
I'm
bad year over year.
My favorite two
Cowboys
teams?
were 12-5, 3 years in a row.
Apparently
2
that
years
doesn't
ago.
matter.
Okay, well,
So it
then
doesn't
ask
matter,
your
but
same
what are you
question. What
doing
did it get you?
Where did it get you?
What did it get
Well,
you?
what does it get you? I mean, if the logic is the Cowboys are bad, then y'all are worse.
The Dallas Cowboys
if the-
notoriously fall short.
And what
It's just
do
simple.
the Houston teams do?
If Houston
Not
had tradition,
shit.
if Houston
Not
had
shit,
tradition
right?
in a trophy
Not
case
shit.
that looked like y'all's
Not
did,
shit.
we would expect more out of them.
So,
Except in our case, we don't expect that.
so by your logic is because y'all have historically been sorry, you should expect sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
Where's our bar?
Hold on.
Y'all have historically never won.
Where's the bar?
You ain't won shit. Y'all's bar is down here,
No.
so you expect down here.
No.
Now our bar is up here, and your expectation is
We
we're
just
up
don't
here.
get hurt.
I just remember. I just
But
don't
let me-
understand.
We just don't get hurt if the bar gets missed.
Let me understand what you said.
Listen.
By your logic is because our bar is here.
Yes.
You expect here all the time.
Yes.
So, right. Your bar is here.
So anything above it, anything above it is great.
We exceeded.
We live.
No.
We
So-
live. If y'all
so
get
let me-
here, just because y'all get here one year, we live now. I just want to make sure you understand.
in the
Let
green.
me explain the
not Super Bowl
huge
every
fundamental huge fundamental difference between the Cowboys fans.
Hold on.
Huge fundamental difference between Cowboys fans and the Texans fan, and that is, we feel as a Texans fan, we feel we have a good team. I have not told anybody that we're going to go to the Super Bowl. You guys talk about Super Bowl. Listen to me. You went up 7-0. Listen to me. You went up 7-0, and you went on Expedia and started booking flights to fucking San Francisco for the Super Bowl. I know you did. All my Cowboys friends started looking at rooms for February 6th to the 9th. I mean, get the fuck out of here, really.
This our year. This our year.
I think you live in a fantasy land. You think I'm booking
Dallas Cowboys.
I don't have booking money, so I don't know.
Dallas Cowboys fans think that they're gonna win the Super Bowl every year.
That's
and
what y'all
Texas
say.
fans,
No one
we're not.
understands.
We have realistic expectations, right? We're gonna make the playoffs.
The
We're gonna win the
division.
division. We're gonna make the playoff.
We're gonna lose
We're gonna
the
win. We're gonna win the first game at home, and then we go on the road at Baltimore, at Buffalo, or Kansas
And
City,
lose.
and lose.
Yeah.
That's my expectation.
Yeah.
Maybe different this year, but that's my expectation every year. You guys' expectations so different. It's like you're in the Super Bowl every year. I mean,
I love it.
I
I love
guarantee
it.
you have. I guarantee
you
you got a room booked in San Francisco.
Shit, if I did, I'm canceling that room and getting that money back.
Booked last night at 7:30 p.m.
One of the things that I would say about the Texans that is going to be very true if you think about this, and it's very consistent with some of the people that I know on PGA Tour. They have the disadvantage of playing in an era where it was Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
Right.
It's like if you didn't win, you weren't shit, right? But there was a lot of guys that were finishing 5th and 10th and all these tournaments that were for
decades, right? That just if you weren't Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson, so you had the disadvantage of playing in an era where you were really good, but you fucking played in an era where it was Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson winning everything, right? And so in this case, I would look at it as, damn, fucking Texans came right on time for Peyton Manning, for Tom Brady, and for fucking dude from Kansas City. And it's just like, man, like you're not gonna. These are just. We always call them once in a lifetime.
They're generational people. Yeah.
But it's like, how do you go back to back to back?
I read an article, the same thing about what you're saying with Lamar Jackson and like Josh Allen.
Poor guys, right?
Because they got to deal with Mahomes.
And Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, they're like, they got to deal with him every time. And it's like,
these are great Hall of Famer quarterbacks, first ballots.
Yeah.
But you're going to put them in the same category as Dan Marino, who didn't win one, and you're going to make fun of them for the rest of their career, like Charles Barkley that just didn't win one.
Right. Yeah.
Holy shit! I mean, that's where you're at. That's where I think the Texans are at. Their infancy started in a very, very tough.
Let me ask you this.
That's a good way to look at it.
Let me ask you this: is Eli Manning a generational quarterback?
No, Eli Manning was one of the best system quarterbacks of all time.
That's correct.
So
remember,
he is the only Brady Slayer. So a non-generational quarterback,
No.
regular ass dude, regular ass quarterback.
I can promise you
is
that
a Brady Slayer. He's the only Brady Slayer.
No, he is not the Brady Slayer. The dude that blew off half his hand, that's a Brady Slayer. The guys that were on defense,
he's only lost
the guys
two.
are on defense.
Brady has only ever
that
lost
was
two.
the Brady Slayer. Those are good defenses.
In a Super Bowl.
So
Eli Manning.
where you're staying in San Francisco again?
Shut up. I wish that was the case. Look, as far as my Cowboys go, look, I am very pleased with how they played yesterday. It's an ugly loss. I mean, it's a loss.
The first half.
It's not an ugly loss.
First half.
Hey, look,
The first half.
the other team didn't score a
couldn't even
touchdown
stay
in
up
the
for the
second
second.
half.
No. Stop. The second half, the first part of the second half, or the second half of the second half, because
After
that
the
second
regular-
half was completely fucked.
Yeah.
It was
The ultimate Super Bowl halftime.
Teams adjust.
At that
Teams
point,
adjust.
teams both said, "Fuck this. We're not trying to get hurt. It's been pouring out their rain. Let's just get the fuck out of here. Let's go. This first game ain't gonna hurt us."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
whole game went to bed after the first.
Yeah.
Agree. But that again, I did not expect that my Cowboys were going to score on the first 4 drives of the game. I would have lost money betting that they would score on the
You
first 4
expect
drives.
that out of good offenses. You do
Against a
because-
Super Bowl champion?
Because
The
you've
first
had
game?
3 weeks to prepare for that drive.
No, you've had a whole fucking summer to prepare.
Right, well, you've had time to establish your
saying is-
personnel and put a game plan together.
Okay.
Especially with Homeboy getting ejected
Don't give me
the
into that.
defensive-
before it
Yeah.
even started.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. That was the
Let me tell you
strangest
this.
shit ever.
I loved the line
That
when it
was the
was at
strangest
6.5.
Yeah.
I loved the line at 6.5. I loved the line
It
at
was
8.5.
8.
I loved the line
It was
at
8
8.5.
before the game.
I loved it simply because I knew Dak Prescott was good for his 1 or 2 turnovers because he is very similar to the Brett Favre mentality and the dude over at the Buccaneers. They're just feisty gunslingers. And when under pressure, they make turnovers. They make mistakes. And he was good for those. Hell, fuck, he almost threw 3 or 4 of those yesterday. So I looked at it from a standpoint of, holy shit, now you're going to take away the defensive end that's Jalen Curtis. You're going to take this away right before the game. That changes things immediately. And then, of course, your 2 biggest plays for Dallas, literally your 2 biggest plays for Dallas were penalties, and which led to touchdowns, not field goals. Had they just led to field goals, but those would put you in a position to have touchdowns. And then you have this halftime that was just absolutely nuts. I mean, an hour and a half in the locker room. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what all had to happen for the Cowboys to cover? Holy shit.
I bet Cowboys at the under, and I was very, very surprised.
I was surprised that they covered because it was 47 and a half, and I took the unders, and I was like,
They needed a touchdown in the second half, 7 points to lose my bet.
right.
And I'm like,
and no
this
one
is
scored.
happening.
No one scored, and that was
like
crazy.
4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, I said, "Oh my god, my bet's."
I was yelling at my cousin. I fucking lost this under, man. I cannot believe that. There's no way the Cowboys are going to make 47.
When they went in for the lightning
and a half.
destruction, I text my buddy. I said, "Congratulations, bro, you won."
We saw that.
Oh my God, there's so much time.
Yeah, I was like-
I said, no. These dudes are coming. They're eating tacos. They're on their cell phone. These dudes, they're not coming back to play football.
It was
Yeah.
21-20
It was so
at the
late.
half.
It was like 11:30 there, right?
Yeah.
Eastern
11:30
time.
Eastern
41
time.
points
When they finally started
finally
back
kicked
up.
up.
7.5.
There's no way they're not going to get that
So
47.
Yeah.
once again, I got robbed, and it's like, I feel like it happened. Oh my God!
If you edit this, I'll never talk to you again.
No, listen.
If you edit this out, I'll never talk to you
feel like
again.
this happens often.
God, Rob,
And
you're
I
gonna
think-
blame it on Mother Nature.
No.
Lightning. Oh my God.
Between the guy getting hot tooed on the 50-yard line, between the lightning and the two biggest plays being penalties. Listen, hold on.
That's sports,
all
right?
those things that had to happen for the Cowboys to actually cover. That is absolutely bonkers. Now you can go and debate that had the game not had the tide,
here we go.
had not had the lightning, and had the guy not been kicked out. How would that have affected Dak Prescott?
You can
debate
Cowboys
it.
fan.
You can debate it.
You sound like a Cowboys fan.
No, I'm
Full of
not.
excuses.
Don't
Full of
give-
excuses.
Don't give. Have I given any
I'm just
excuses?
saying.
Have I given any
Listen,
excuses?
this is no.
He's like, don't
so
piss.
listen,
Have I given
this
any
is a true
excuses?
statement. We're in a chat with a bunch of guys that we go play golf and gamble. We like gambling on doing personal bets against each other, and so this guy beat me. One of my friends, one of our mutual friends, beat me out of the highest stake bet. And so I owed him $1,000 because we did I took UT, he took Ohio State. He said, Nestor, I'm gonna let you get your money back. I like the Cowboys. You like Philadelphia? I said, I don't like Philadelphia. I don't like the line. I think the Cowboys will cover in the garbage time and get touchdown, right, David? I said that. I said, I think they'll cover late.
He said
They'll come
that.
back and give it late.
It never happened like that. But
And
you
then,
said
no,
that.
didn't. Yeah, I did say that, but I just felt like Cowboys would cover. But I said, you know what? Just to have some action in the game, I'll take it. Sports Donkey comes in, Saleem, and says, I'll take it for whatever. I'm like, I side text the other guy and say, hey, bro, Saleem likes Philadelphia. I'm out. I'm out. But don't tell him I'm out. I
don't feel bad about the play.
Now lightning spitting.
Oh my God. If you don't think, football. As unathletic as you are, football. If you don't think that Jalen Curtis getting removed from that game before tip-off didn't affect, you are outside your mind. You are outside your mind. To think that the leading rusher, quarterback,
Pass
pass
rusher,
rusher
yeah.
was going to be removed from that game just as you had an entire game plan designed around that 15 minutes before that. If you don't think it affected the game, you're
8.5 points is a lot
I
of.
would suggest that.
Eight and a half. Listen to me.
but look at the
8.5 points
sequence.
in a divisional rivalry is
Right.
a lot of
Right.
points.
It is a lot
Period.
of points.
I don't
It
care,
is.
especially
For
week
some-
one.
I'm-
Especially week one.
I actually agree that for some reason, and I can't explain it, that in the NFC East, these teams know each other, they hate each other, and these games don't have to follow your logic. If
right.
by
But
logic,
the
you would
Cowboys
say,
are not good.
You would say that they would have blown. The Cowboys should have been blown out by logic, right?
But the
they should have been
Cowboys
blown
are
out.
not good. It's
How
just
many-
one thing betting with your heart, and it's one thing. It's one thing. It is. Was it not obvious? What is the
rivalries,
only
you know
thing that the Cowboys had?
I'm gonna give you
the
something.
only thing the Cowboys had was CeeDee Lamb.
I'm gonna
That
give
was
you
their
something.
only
I-
offensive
and he-
game.
and he
plan.
failed
I'm
them.
going to-
He failed them in the.
But that was
I'm
literally their only
I'm gonna
option.
give you
Quarter.
something. This is my prediction. This is my prediction for the
my
Cowboys.
God, here we go.
Are you ready?
Super Bowl.
Super
No.
Bowl.
They're gonna win.
Cowboys are going to win 10 games this year.
That's on the record.
That's fine.
That's on the record.
That's
What's
fine.
What's the?
That's fine.
What's the
The over-under for the
on
Cowboys?
wins?
It's like 7.5.
Wins.
How about this? How about this?
What
You know
saw-
why? They have a
what you
they
saw
have a tough
last night-
schedule.
what
That's
you
the reason
saw-
why.
what you
They're
saw
pretty
last
stacked
night
on
They have a
offense.
really tough schedule.
is going to put
And if
the
Dak can
league
stay healthy.
on
Let
notice.
me ask you something.
What you saw last night is going to put the league
Let
on
me
notice.
ask you something.
Watch. You're going
Do
to
you
see.
remember the last
7.5.
Do you
7.5.
remember?
They're going to win 3 more games than that.
Do you remember the last time
10.5.
Dak Prescott was healthy all season?
3 years ago?
They won 12 games.
Yeah.
It will take Dak Prescott being healthy to
Agreed.
do
You
exactly what you
agree.
said.
I agree with that.
Speaking
it'll
of,
take.
there's two bets that I really, really like.
They're going to win 10 to 12 games.
The
this
Texans
year.
is 9.5, and I like the over on
Going
that.
to beat the Giants
The over?
twice.
The over on
We are
that.
going
I think
to
the Texans,
beat
the
Eagles
Texans
at home.
will win.
They will not.
We're going to beat. We're
They
going
will
to
not
trade
beat Green
against-
Bay. They will not
we're
beat Detroit.
We're
They will
going
not-
to beat.
No,
We're going
no,
to beat.
No.
Okay, we're moving on from the Cowboys for 1 second.
Fucking
This is
Cowboys.
not fucking ESPN right now.
Are we in
so-
Dallas right now?
I know.
No, I like the Texans 9.5. I think the Texans will win 5 out of 6 divisional games. That's half their wins, right?
Uh-huh.
And they don't have that tough of a schedule, so I think 9.5. I think they'll win 11 games. And
I think so.
The other team that I really, really, which goes, which proves why the Cowboys line is not 7.5 is I was very surprised with the line being 9.5 for Washington. I think Washington.
Washington
9.5.
Washington wins 12 games this year.
Wins 12 games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you.
I don't know, man.
They beat the Cowboys and the Giants twice.
NFC's tough.
They are
dude.
not going to beat the
NFC is tough, man.
We have moved on.
9.5 games.
Y'all have
Washington.
weird
Those
understanding of NFC
those two
East.
are my. I always pick two teams.
This is the toughest the NFC has, I recall, being since than Steve Young days. You got Detroit, you got Green Bay, you got San Fran, and you got fucking Redskins. The Cowboys might not even
Philadelphia
finish.
Eagles.
The
Philadelphia
Cowboys
Eagles.
might not even
Philly.
finish third in their
I
own
don't
division.
Know, I don't know why you think San Fran is going to be.
Do you
live
guys
this
think
year.
that
they
San
have
Fran
lost
and Tampa Bay?
They have lost 3.
Like, I know
of their
Tampa
best
Bay
kind of a
That's a good
dark
team.
horse. They almost went
I
to the
would not
Super
put
Bowl.
it
That's a
past
good
them.
team. That's a good
They
team.
almost
They'll win
beat the
10
Eagles.
They'll win 10 or 11 games. Yeah.
I would not put it.
And they got
I want
better
a
in the
replay I played
offseason.
for you.
Like-
Brock Purdy throws to what's the guy they sent to the next team? Throws a 5-yard pass. The dude loses 2 players and runs an 80-yard touchdown. And then they say, Brock Purdy, live damn touchdown. I'm like, you do realize he doesn't have that guy anymore. Brock Purdy doesn't have, San Francisco doesn't have the
Debo?
weapons.
Debo Samuel?
Yeah.
They don't have that guy anymore.
Ayuk?
They got
No, I think it's Debo.
Debo.
But is
Yeah,
Ayuk
Debo
back?
Samuel.
Because he went to
They got that
Miami?
dude Pearsall.
Or Ayuk.
They don't have the talent that
They don't have Debo. They don't have
Brock Purdy
Ayuk
is
for like
marginal.
four
He's a
games.
red
Oh, yeah, you're
I
right.
think so. Four,
I don't know.
five
You got
games.
Christian McCaffrey.
But they got the tight end. They got a good tight end too.
They
What's
got
his name?
Kittle.
I
Yeah,
like
listen,
it.
the
They
best
got rid
thing
of
about-
him?
No, they
got him.
have
They got him.
The best thing about the San Francisco 49ers, they're coaching. They're well prepared
Agreed.
every game. They're well prepared. So I'm very bullish. bullish
You're
on them.
saying that the Cowboys win 10. Okay.
Jeez.
10 to 12.
I definitely think that they cover the 7.5 over total wins. I don't think
I agree with
10 is.
that.
I don't think 10's
Yeah,
realistic.
I agree.
But I want to be able to come back on this podcast right around that time to prove to you.
What time?
To prove to you that San Francisco.
Week 11.
No, that doesn't make
No,
any
week
sense.
17.
Thank you. You
Yeah,
can't
week
say
17.
You can't say week 11.
Yeah, week 17. Week 17. Not 10 in a row.
They're
Yeah.
gonna win 10 straight
Yeah.
games.
No,
That's your logic.
If they got 5 wins.
I want to revisit this because I want to prove to you. Obviously, I don't have to prove to you. You can just Google this, but
It's going to be on the record, so I love it.
You're going to be able to identify that Detroit, Green Bay, Washington, and San Fran will all have better records than the Cowboys. And I want to come back visit
see.
that conversation.
We'll see.
I want
Because
to
you
talk
think I'm
about
smoking crack, and I want to be able to revisit that.
You're
I don't think
gonna learn something about this pick. Everybody thinks that Michael Parsons hurt us by leaving. And
I promise you
we
he
had a bad run defense. The Bills beat us when the quarterback threw 13 damn passes. You know why they did that? Because they ran the ball for them to 200 yards up his ass. He's a bad run stopper. You're going to see the Green Bay Packers get exposed for that very thing. But you don't believe me, you're going to see it.
We'll see. We will reconvene on week 17.
I want to see that. I
go
want to
on-
be at that podcast.
I will go on
Right
record
down
and
the
say
throat.
that the Cowboys missed the playoffs this year.
I think it's very realistic. I think the
I
NFC
don't think
is
they'll
tough.
make the playoffs.
I would say
There's 14. You
they
call it,
missed the playoffs.
there's 4 teams.
They
In
missed
they're
the
the
playoffs
NFC.
this year.
What? They're
I
the
would say
NFC.
NFC East. I would say yes. It's very possible the Cowboys miss the playoffs because we have the toughest division in the NFC.
Well, you
We
just
got
had-
the toughest.
Well, you
the
just
Super
said-
Bowl
had a-
champion-
you
the
just
Super
said
Bowl-
minute
the
thesis
Super
on
Bowl
how they
champion-
weren't.
The Super Bowl champion is in our division.
We are done talking about the Cowboys.
Please.
Yeah, that is 20 minutes on the Cowboys. Done.
It was the only game played.
19 minutes of editing.
But now we have the rest of the game. So I have a game tonight that is intriguing in Brazil.
Love the game tonight. Love it.
The Chiefs at the Chargers.
Sao Paulo? Is that where it is?
The Chiefs are favored
Is
by
it Sao
3.
Paulo or is it Rio?
Sao Paulo.
So the Chiefs are favored by 3.
Don't you need to leave?
Does it fucking matter?
Hey,
What's it
don't you need to
What are you
go right
still
now?
doing here?
Huh?
What are you
Ness,
still doing here?
Ness, yeah. What are you still doing? You got like what 6 hours
He's
to
got
make the
time.
fight?
He's got
Long
time.
story.
Skipped a lunch. He's skipping a lunch.
Oh,
You obviously haven't
He
skipped
has
a
not
lunch in
skipped
a long
a meal.
time.
He has not skipped a
You
meal in a
obviously
while.
haven't skipped a lunch. This guy went to U of H. He's the only guy. You know how he got a scholarship? Everybody got their tuition, board, everything paid. He's got 3 meal plans. That's how he got 3 meal plans.
What are we thinking? Chargers and Chiefs.
I didn't know it was
Saleem.
I think San Diego's got a better shot than Kansas City. I mean, at the end of the day, I just think Kansas City is just
Why you
getting
say San
older.
Diego?
Ooh,
I mean, LA.
LA.
thank you.
Oh, LA.
Thank you.
I just
Chargers.
feel like
Chargers,
Kansas City is just getting older.
That's
And
correct.
I don't know how to really word it.
and I hate saying it because they're not old, right? I mean, they're in their 30s, but it's like I just feel like the oomph is missing. I feel like there's just something there.
Can you clarify the line, please? I don't think.
It's -3. The Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah.
I got 3.5.
Over under is 46.5.
Which is
Are
like
you
nothing.
Sure? It was -3, 4.5.
Looking at it right now.
I think it's going to be close game.
I thought it was Chiefs -4.5, and I
Chiefs
love
-3. Yeah.
Really. Wow. So all the money's coming in on the Chargers.
Yep.
I like the Chargers.
I like the
Yeah?
That's the point. I really
think
do.
so.
If a line is 3, I would probably buy a half.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the Chargers plus 3.5.
First week.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with Saleem on this one, which is
What is it? Did he take the Chargers?
He took him. Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually.
absolutely.
I favored one side versus the other. I can't say that.
Can I be on your side text?
I will say this. My last football game, I traveled from Houston to Hawaii. Okay. And we got there 6 days before the game. And the first 3 days was absolutely fucking worthless. Literally. Time change, physically just fucking drained. Took us a while to get set up. Training facilities weren't set up. It was just, took us a while. Now, I assume the NFL has a system where they're actually set up before those guys even get there, right? But they're human. And that's a long fucking game. So I would also take the under.
Okay.
That's
I like that.
The under is 46.
Yep. 46.5.
I feel like it takes
23 points
I feel like it
each.
takes a good 15 to 18 minutes to really get going. I can see first drive being scored on both, either field goal or touchdown, but I see them both settling in because, like I said, you practice for 2 weeks that first drive. If you in any game, really, I don't give a fuck if it's college or professional. That first drive against any team that you're going against, you have to execute well. Otherwise, that'll dictate the majority of the game. Because if you had 2 weeks prepared for that first drive, because we used to do it, 2-minute situation, goal line situation, you have all week to figure out who your next opponent is and finding out their weaknesses, and you go after them on the first drive. You don't go to that first drive to settle for less. You don't go on that first drive to get a field goal. You go on that first drive to get that touchdown. And so in the NFL, those guys do it better than anybody. And if you can't go your first drive in the NFL and score something, you're doomed for the rest of the game. Most of the time.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out the rest of the way, right?
If your best shot didn't come, that means you're now relying on your coaching staff to adjust in the second half, and that's an entirely different coach.
Yeah.
But that first drive, that long travel, I could feel it being a little sluggish.
But what is it? Is it Eastern time?
Sao Paulo?
I think they're right outside of Miami.
The game's a 7-ish.
That's a 9. What's that? A 9-hour flight?
Yeah, but if they've been there for a few days,
It's first game of the season, so it's not
Right? Oh, you agreed with him, Vince?
Chargers.
He likes the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go against the
Super Bowl.
Dak,
They're not even playing.
Dak for 350. Here we go.
I'm gonna go against the grain.
I can't wait to hear what you say about the Texans.
I think it's gonna be over. No, I'm gonna go with the over.
Okay.
And I like the Chargers. I think that. I mean, I like Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert has a new love.
Yeah, it reminds
Some
me
little
of
pop star.
And this was
Yeah.
That only affects people like you, new love. So.
this was years ago, but that game in Mexico City where the Rams and Chiefs went back with golf, and they went back and forth. It was like 35-40 to whatever. It was like it was a shootout, and so I think that these two teams want to score.
Yeah.
And will be prolific offenses, and I think that I'm hoping that.
So I don't.
So you're taking the overs. I'm taking the overs.
I think the Chargers. And I think they'll cover the 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
On Chargers.
Yeah.
We're 100% in agreement on the Chargers.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's probably more
So who
wishful
picked the
thinking,
Chiefs?
also.
Anybody?
Nobody.
No one. Yeah.
Wow.
The next game for me,
Hold on. What was the total in that game?
46.5.
Ooh.
Shit.
Yeah.
He said the overs. You said the under.
I'm
under.
For some reason, I thought
I
Chargers
think
and
the
overs.
under.
in the 50s.
I think the under.
I like
52. I could see 48, 50. I could see that. I could see
Over?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yes, I love the under.
We'll be going quick.
We're almost done.
The next one is the Lions and the Packers.
Line is?
Line is 2.5 Packers. Over under
I thought
is
you said
47.5.
No,
So
we
it's,
say about
it's in
2.5.
Green Bay.
In Green Bay.
And Packers are favored by 2.5.
Yep.
I always say about 2.5.
The Lions, right?
What do you like?
I like the Lions.
So in NFL, I love plus 2.5.
Plus 2.5.
My favorite bets are plus 2.5, plus 6.5.
Why?
Because they're begging you to take the opposite side.
That field goal.
Right?
They want you to take
They
that
want you
field
to
goal.
take
That
a
field
field
goal.
goal.
It's weird to me how close they get.
They want you on that field goal.
Time travelers.
It's
Right, that's some bullshit.
it's a sucker. It's a sucker line, right?
Yeah.
They're
It hooks
enticing
the- it
you
hooks
to
the
take
general public.
enticing you to take the 3. That's you and I've been talking about this for years.
There's games
it's
him and I
more
we don't
s-
even look at. We just
And
see
it's
the
more
line
so in
and-
the NFL than in college, but yes. So for that reason, I like the plus 2.5. I don't
For
care
the
who it
Lions.
is.
Got it.
So
Lions 2.5.
he's taking the Lions.
Same. I like the Lions.
Yeah,
I like the
I'll take it too.
Ray,
High scoring game.
Ray, Cowboys Super Bowl.
All around.
I'll take the Lions.
Okay.
I could see what happened in that Dallas Cowboy game where they went at it the first half.
I would
but
say the
continuing
Lions
that.
because I think the Lions have a very strong, cohesive offensive line.
I agree.
They
I agree.
push everybody around.
Yeah. The next one's interesting to me. It's the Ravens at the Bills.
Wow.
That's a tough game.
Ravens
First game.
are favored by 1.5 in Buffalo.
You know, NFL came out and said week 1, we're going to F everybody.
Fuck everybody up.
Fuck everybody up.
The over/under is 50.5. 50
So
and a half.
what's the line at Buffalo?
1.5 for the Ravens.
Ravens 1.5. I like Buffalo.
I like
What do you like?
I like
like
Buffalo regardless.
I
Like,
like
yeah.
Buffalo. I like Buffalo plus 1.5. Are you kidding me?
I'm Buffalo all the way.
I don't understand. I don't understand how. Man, fucking
points?
1.5.
Yeah.
Like that's a pick'em. That's not a
That's a pick 'em.
that's a pick'em.
And they're at home.
See,
like
that's,
Honestly,
that's
that's
how
like
you know
ball
Vegas
sports.
is fucking with you.
Yeah.
That's how you know they're fucking with you. That
100%.
should be a pick'em game, and they're giving somebody points.
Yeah.
That it doesn't make sense. That's how they're persuading you to take the team.
To take the Buffalo is
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which means that by that theory,
By that notion, you should go Baltimore.
yes, that's what
Yes.
you're saying. I understand.
That's why it's like a torn pick because
Yeah.
you know what Vegas is telling
Yep.
you to do,
Yep.
but it's hard to not take the plus 1.5.
Yeah.
It's a pick'em game.
Right?
But you could buy it down. I would say I'm going to take the Ravens.
Ravens?
I like the Ravens.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
But I don't know what the hell to do about the overs.
And then we have the 2026 Super Bowl champion Houston Texans
Yeah, buddy.
at the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, man, I don't like it.
Can't wait to.
LA is favored by 3. The line has moved. It was 4.5.
Can you transfer your room in San Francisco a little bit?
You want that room? I said,
Rams.
You know what? Hey, I remember, what was it? 5, almost 6 years ago now, we went to the LA Rams game.
We did.
Against the Texans.
Remember that?
Oh,
We went to
my
the Rams game?
God.
And they were playing at the Coliseum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Coliseum.
Yeah.
I remember that. Hardest seats in the world. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
my
my
Gosh, yeah.
I think
Bleachers.
the Rams win by double digits.
Rams win by double digits?
I sure do.
I take that.
Oh, my God.
Sure do.
Wow.
aren't you a Texans fan?
He-
I'm not loyal to
he's a
anybody.
hater. He's a hater of any. He hates.
on whoever
He
he thinks
hates.
is gonna win.
All his friends are Texans fans, so he hates the Texans. I mean, come on.
I just remember
But-
how bad that team fell apart when they didn't have their 3 wide receivers, and it was just Nico. And when Tank and Diggs went out, the team just completely changed. I have a feeling it's going to take that team a few weeks to get on that offense.
What's the line again? What's the
team-
line again?
What team
3,
would not change
for the Rams.
Rams minus 3.
But that's my point.
Over-under
CJ
is
Stroud,
43
great.
and a
You
half.
got no weapons to throw him to. There's no chemistry. It's just going to be a Nico Collins game. It's to be a lot easier to play that one guy versus it is those 3 guys. If you have 3 performing wide receivers, that team is tough.
Yeah.
But I don't
And
see
we
how that
have
happens. Week
Christian Kirk is out, and then there's one other guy that's out.
I think our defense will keep us in the game. I like to buy half a point and get Texans plus 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Texans plus 2.5, plus 3.5.
No, plus 3.5. Yeah.
Texans plus 3.5.
I mean, buying the half point.
Yeah, by the point or
Yeah.
by the half.
I think Rams win by 10 plus.
I think the Rams cover. I don't think it's by much. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah.
So.
Texans money line.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
That's whack.
Let me guess.
So you're saying the Texans going to win?
Yeah.
Confidence, bro.
Super Bowl?
No.
See all that. This is one game, baby. One game at a time.
I like the Rams.
There's only one person.
Rams money line or spread?
No, spread.
There's only one person here that has a February ticket to San Francisco.
Oh, I guess
Wow.
It's not either one of us four.
you must
You
have bought it for
you
me.
saw what a 4-point victory looked like yesterday. So a 4-point victory is not impossible. I mean, you saw 2024 yesterday. Man, I just don't see. I don't see the Texans going out there and.
David, let's buy it.
I'm hoping that the new
let's buy the
offensive
Rams down to
coordinator
2.5.
has
Yeah.
some inside knowledge
Win
on
the
the Rams, and maybe he can give.
Did he come from the Rams?
Yeah,
Came from the
yeah.
Rams.
He's Sean McVay's offensive coordinator,
Okay, so
or tight ends coach. Somebody on the
That's
offensive
good.
side.
That's good
He's our
knowledge
offensive guy,
to have.
and maybe he got a little bit.
only thing he'll
And-
be able to tell you is what a scouting report will tell you, which is
and
what
Stafford's
players
not
are good
healthy.
at.
Yeah, he's not. He's
Stafford's
coming
not
off injury,
healthy.
I think if we can get to Stafford
Yep.
and knock him to
And
the
we will.
ground,
We will.
then we got a real shot.
So I have one. The last thing I have before we conclude this episode is this: your way too early Super Bowl champion prediction.
Oh wow.
Way too.
So pick the AFC and the NFC guys, and then
You can
pick the whatever.
AFC, NFC, or you can pick the champion.
Okay.
Oh man, I would go Detroit in the NFC, and I would go Baltimore.
They're due.
Huh?
They're due.
And who's going to win it?
Who's gonna win it? I think Detroit would win it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Detroit would win it.
Ness?
I'm going on a limb on the NFC, by the way. But on the AFC, I like Buffalo.
Okay.
I think this is their year. And then on the NFC, I'm really like Washington.
Cowboys?
I really like Washington now. really like Washington, actually.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Cowboys are not in the AFC, so you can't go Cowboys versus Cowboys.
Cowboys are going to play the Cowboys.
Guaranteed to get one
They're
of
going to
those.
win it twice.
It's going to be a double Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I actually agreed 100% with Saleem.
Oh my God!
Really?
Oh my God!
Every team
And the winner.
and the winner. Just now.
Detroit has the
I was
toughest
thinking-
schedule in the NFC, by the way.
That's fine.
I'm just telling you.
I don't think that the Lions. I mean, I don't think that the Green Bay Packers are ready, and I don't think that the second-year Washington quarterback is ready to make that turn. So the only team I think has the most experience with the coaching staff and the skill set to win and be consistent throughout the entire year are the Lions in the NFC, and I think it's just Lamar and the Ravens' year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vinny?
I read too much and I listen to too many people, so I'm going to go with the
Bills.
Baker Mayfield-led Bucks.
All right.
Oh my
And the
God!
Buffalo Bills.
We're talking about the NFL.
Hey, don't
We're not-
feed this guy any more alcohol,
This is
please.
not,
No more alcohol for
No
him.
more
Yeah.
alcohol for
forget how
Vince.
close they were last year?
I have heard
Well,
bro. This is
uh,
not
rumors.
Yeah, but this is not intramurals.
But do you know
You cannot play
by
in the
one
NFL the
play-
way that guy plays and stay healthy all year. That's the
He
problem.
doesn't get hurt.
The guy is always one play away from being done for his career.
Brett Favre
Yeah.
won one. And so
That's true.
Baker
Might win
Mayfield
one.
does not get hurt. When has he gotten hurt?
And they got better
Point
on
being
offense.
is just way too aggressive.
And they were one play away from going to the Super Bowl and beating Philadelphia.
I remember it.
I'm going to do a combo of all of y'all, and I'm going to say the Lions and the Bills.
I was
I
torn
think-
on that. Yeah.
I think the Bills will take it. I think it's Josh Allen. I think he's going to kill it this
Lions
year.
and Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the Bills have their win over under is 11.5,
Yeah.
and that's reflective on how hard of a schedule. This is should be a 14 game, 14 game season.
Yeah.
But they have it at 11.5 for a reason.
Yeah.
And they have a
one
really
of those
tough
three
schedule.
teams. One of those three teams is going to be playing that last NFC Championship game at their home field. It's going to be Kansas City. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills. Or it's
No.
going to be the
Kansas
it's going to be
City,
the Ravens.
Kansas City dynasty.
It's going to be one of those three.
Kansas City dynasty's over.
The hardest place to play is Buffalo. So
bet-
if they get that to their advantage, very realistically, that
Why
can
is the
happen.
hardest place to play Buffalo?
Off
It's
camera.
cold as fuck, snowing,
Who's winning?
winding.
Snows and Packers.
No.
Ravens. I take the Ravens.
Ravens.
I think y'all are tripping on Detroit. They lost both coordinators. I don't think they're
No,
gonna be as good.
no, Detroit
I think
won't
they
make the
win
Super Bowl.
10 games, and I think Green Bay wins that division.
Really? AJ? He's going to say Rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said Detroit last time. Man, well, thank you guys for coming on.
Peace.